So part three, we're talking about the unique ambiguity of LeBron James, all five of his positions. That's better. Unique ambiguity of LeBron James, all five planned positions that he has. I covered the first two. I'm going to link the first two videos at the end of the video here, the first two recordings, the first two segments that I've read. Part one was point guard. Number two was shooting guard. We move over to the play in the paint. Power forward. This is part three. And let's dig into it. So power forward. LeBron James looks like a power forward. The recent development of a post game has allowed him to bang and bruise like one. And yet, when James is actually slotted at the four, he once more shape shifts and redefines the position entirely. He's still the one who's handling the ball for the most part, says Pacers associate head coach Brian Shaw. The Heat coaches exploit James' versatility by flipping their sets upside down and using their point guards to screen for him in the pick and roll. They're probably the only team in the NBA that does that, says Indiana power forward David West. That mismatch creating play generated open lanes to the basket and enabled Miami to salvage a 103-102 overtime win in Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals. When James' buzzer-beating layup got the most attention, he had an equally crucial finish 10 seconds earlier against point guard George Hill, who had to switch onto James after Miami's 6'2" Norris Cole freed him with the screen. To finally ascend to the championship last year, James first had to learn to apply his trade down low. Before the season, he spent 4 days working on low post moves with Hakeem Olajuwon. And his fill-in work on the block when Bosh was out with an abdominal injury was a crucial factor in Miami's 2012 second-round win over the Pacers. The difficulty James creates in the post leaves opposing defenders wishing more than ever for eyes in the back of their heads. It gives him another point of penetration, and now you've got to account for him being that much closer to the basket, says Shaw. When he's out on the perimeter, all the other sets of eyes are on him, and they're able to help when he drives. But when he's down on the post and able to help when he drives, but when he's down on the post and everybody else flipped in on the other side, he's so big and strong that he can make a move and get to the basket on one dribble. If a defender does have time to double team James on the block, that just opens up more potential problems. They've got guys on the perimeter that can cut and keep the floor space, says Shaw. And then you have to say, okay, LeBron is going to have to score 60 and beat us, or you got the double and get it out of his hands. And that's what shots open up for Ray Allen and Mike Miller and whoever else is in the game. That was the situation when I was with the Lakers with Kobe and Shaq. You have to pick your poison, see which one of those scenarios is going to hurt you the least, and just live with it. When James switches to the four, he creates cross matches that he and his teammates can attack in transition and early offense. In the half court, it's another story altogether. When James loves to bully the smaller power forwards, his success diminishes against traditional power forwards like wide-body Zach Randolph of the Grizzlies or Indiana's rugged West, which is why the Pacers weren't expecting James to play much power forward in this series. I don't think they want to see LeBron on David West at all, says Shaw. They've tried that a few times, and David just punishes him. As James moves into his 30s and his quickness dwindles, however, Shaw expects him to see him morphing into a four where he can rely more on brute force. You see it with everybody, says Shaw. Jordan went from slashing and ducking all the time to more of a post-up, turnaround jumper game as the wear and tear started affecting him. Your game evolves because Father Time catches up with him. When the time is right, James could yet become the league's most challenging power forward, having both an unparalleled ability to pass out of the post and a touch that will stretch defenses out to the three-point line. It's shocking to be the best player in the world and continue to improve, says Pacers coach Frank Vogel. But those worries are for another day. James turned Game 3 into a convincing 114-96 win by backing small forward Paul George into the post for many of his 22 points while waiting for double teams that never came. He was able to play like a power forward without leaving his natural position. Never mind the future. The Pacers had their hands full already with James at his current form. So obviously this guy has tremendous upper body strength that he can punish opponents in the forward, in addition to playing out from the key as he does a lot of times and driving to the basket. Pretty interesting observation there. You're not going to see LeBron drive to the basket a lot. And so the theory was that, according to David Shaw, that LeBron was going to be a power forward. But really what's happening is he's not a power forward into his 30s. He's just back to a small forward position, and the wear and tear of the point guard position is going to switch back and forth from Rondo to LeBron James. LeBron isn't actually playing small forward in his 30s like David Shaw and some of the guys on the Indiana Pacers thought would happen with LeBron. He's actually playing more point guard, distributing the ball, but he's not driving to the basket as much as he is with the Miami Heat. You know, he was a freight train. He was a freight train with the Miami Heat. He was just driving to the post, and no one was going to stop that 6'8" brother from fucking out of his world. Just amazing specimen. You know, David West and DeMarcus Cousins are going to be in the paint, occupying those positions that they talked about with LeBron James in this piece. All 5 of his positions that he learned to play with the Miami Heat. He was just a small forward with the Cleveland Cavaliers. But we really are going to see more point guard with LeBron and more of those spot shots that are going to come his way with the LA Lakers. Just the takeaway that I've got from this, when they theorized that LeBron would be this power forward, you know, in his early 30s and whatnot. But he is really starting to adjust his game right now. He's trying to save his body. So that freight train LeBron, though, is gone. The next part of this, the center position, I will read you that part tomorrow. Check the video again to read the whole segment on LeBron, the power forward, all 5 positions. Going to break it down completely. The Lakers are going to be as diverse as any team out there, if not the most diverse team out there. The unique ubiquity of LeBron James, able to play back and forth from all 5 positions. We will never see this again in the game, I'm convinced. And LeBron James is going to captain this Lakers team, and I have a great feeling about what this offense is going to be. It's getting teams in foul trouble, it's setting up spot shots. Then those mid-range shots, once they get the ball out to the paint, to the key, the opponent shift to the key. And then LeBron can lob the ball to AD and Cousins for those alley-oops. I mean, it is pick your poison once the postseason is on its way. You got to win games from the foul spot, from the free throw line. The Lakers will be fine with that. I like the free throw shooting of DeMarcus Cousins, Anthony Davis, or whatnot. This is a takeaway that I've got from the power forward piece. Really interesting that these pieces involve David Shaw, who was on the coaching staff of Frank Vogel. This is why it's a really interesting series to document here. But this is part 3. I'm going to be back for the final 2 parts tomorrow and Friday. Let's see, we Wednesday and Thursday, right? So that's when we're going to cover the center position, and then the last one that I've got too.